Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Hart.
Hello and welcome to another Wrestle Reel, brother. My name is Chris Anthony Lopez. After that kick-ass intro, joined by a kick-ass dude, the green meanie, Nick Molbach. Nick, we are the Kids at Hart. What's been going on, my man? You good?
That is right. We are the Kids at Hart. Oh, yes, I'm fine. I just would like to acknowledge that the reason why I'm not in my usual spot bumming it is because I'm bumming it in my bed. I was working on my movie, and I just kind of lost track of time and didn't want to move and set all this crap up again. That said, we're here, episode 8. First of all, if you came here from my multiple Reddit posts, probably for this episode as well, barring that I am not barred from all of them from posting again because I was whoring myself all over Reddit. Thank you so much. 118 views on the last episode makes it the most popular episode that we have. And as of this recording, yes, that is an important stat right there. But as well, 4 new subscribers to the channel. Get to see what we do here all the time. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We hope we can make you proud, obviously. But, you know, if you're new here and you want to see more Wrestle Reel, if you want to see more movie content, if you want to see more of the Green Meanie, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You know, like I said, we make new content here constantly. But Wrestle Reel, flagship show yet? No, I'm just kidding. We're working on it. We're working on it. But no, thank you again. Thank you for making last week so far the most successful episode of Wrestle Reel. And let's just continue to skyrocket from there. Exactly. That said, before we start with anything, and I know that I'm going to get into it in my high spot a little bit later.
Yeah,
I need to bring up that Capital Punishment is like the most bonkers pay-per-view I have ever watched before in my entire life. And there's many reasons. And again, I will get into one of them in my high spot later on. Mm-hmm. But the one that I want to talk about pre-show, because we are going to, especially at the rate it's going right now on my iPad, we are going to be watching Capital Punishment as a watch along, so you could share in the pandemonium of it all. But I need to talk about my boy Phobama. Why? Yeah, I know. I broke Chris with this statement beforehand. So, like, WWE, and you know what? It's funny because I would like look up like Raw in 2008 on the network, and I'd see in the thumbnail the big-eared dopey Obama guy that they had face against Hillary Clinton or whatever, and and John McCain or whatever, and it was terrible. That was terrible. But I would like to talk about my boy Phobama here. Phobama, he's another Obama impersonator, but this time we are acting like he's actually Obama. Now, I understand that Capital Punishment, you're not going to get Obama to show up for the show. Mm-hmm. He once did a very cheesy, do you smell what Barack is cooking in one of their Tribute to the Troop things, but oh my Lord, does this not make any sense? Because I know, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but there's a Spinaroonie that happens later on. Santino Marella gets taken out by the Secret Service at some point because he's about to Cobra Obama. Phobama, sorry. And at the beginning, and he does a State of the Union at some point at the beginning. He's with America's favorite traitor, Sergeant Slaughter. It's just like, okay, jokes aside, obviously we know where Sergeant Slaughter lies, but like, holy crap, why are we acting like this is Obama? Like, I would have watched that in 2011 when it was debuting, and I would have went, what the hell is this shit? Like, come on. Like, sorry. I needed to get that. I needed to get the multiple appearances of a fake Obama that does not actually like have any, like, I could literally go up there and just be like, my fellow Americans, pussy too. I don't know. That's a thing that he said once in a thing. I'll send you the meme later on. But like, to put some context to what I just said, and I'm very sorry about that. There's a video online, and I don't want to tirade we'll continue our faux Obama talk here. There's a video online of Obama. I think he's reading. It's an old one. He's reading like something from like a Malcolm X thing or something like that, and he's talking about like how he's doing a voice for this gentleman who is who he's like, oh yeah, you won't see me going out and doing this and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna still be eating ribs. And then in the most Obama voice in the world, he goes, and pussy too. And it is the strangest thing in the world to watch. So like then, of course, people isolate that clip and, make pussy too a huge announcement. Anyways, faux Obama, crazy. Let's get into number one here as Chris is dying slowly at my...
So our first count for this week's show, right? AEW had their pay-per-view Full Gear this past Saturday, but we're not going to review it. Just go watch the damn show. I watched it. Nick, I bet you at least watched your boy Eddie Kingston wrestle.
I watched the highlights. I would like to go back and see how we did. I know you got that Darby Allin pick correct. Spoilies. Woo! But we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Young Bucks won. Mox won, setting up for Kenny Omega, who won. Yep. What's her name? Retained her title. So we did pretty good.
Yeah, we did pretty solid on our predictions. But we're not here to talk about Full Gear. No Full Gear. None. We're gonna talk AEW games. So we got an announcement last week of like, yo, keep an eye out, AEW games on YouTube. Go ahead and check that out. I thought it was gonna be like an up, down, down-esque type of thing with a video game announcement. Perfect segue because Kenny Omega, for those marks out there, brother, Kenny Omega's a big video game fan, and we've seen him on up, down, down. Play. I want to say it was like Tekken with the Young Bucks against the New Day. Great video, by the way, for those who haven't seen it. Fantastic. But we got a press conference of sorts. It was Kenny, Cody, Nick's girl, Britt Baker, and why am I blanking on her? It's on her last name. It's the referee. It's oh
Slapjack.
my god,
I don't know.
No, God bless America. See, we're immediately getting outed as posers. But but you catch my drift. There's a video that they did like a press conference a la Steve Jobs. They were emulating Steve Jobs' old Apple stuff. But they released these like a little teaser for a game. Aubrey Edwards, thank you so much. Social media. So Aubrey Edwards is also there. But we saw Ukes come back. The video game developer Ukes, after being dead in the water for years, they're finally coming back, and AEW Games is now a thing. This is nuts. This is crazy. For those who don't know even, Ukes used to produce and develop WWE games back in the day, at least back in our day, Nick. They used to do WWE games. Some of the better games of the last 15 years have come through Ukes. And when Ukes died, arguably so did WWE video games, at least for a little bit, until 2K took over for a bit, and then those started to dwindle off. I'm not even going to get into 2020's 2K. That game's rollout was atrocious. But Ukes is back doing an AEW video game, but that's not all. That is not all, bro, because they showed us a little something. They gave us a little something, and we saw this. Look at our guy.
What are they doing to my boy?
Look at Chris Jericho. And for those who are asking for a picture of Kenny, I'm not even going to show you Kenny Omega. Kenny, he looks like veiny Omega, bro.
Here, we'll show you Kenny Omega. Chris, I don't know if you're ready for this.
Yeah. No. Okay. Okay, get that off the...
Yeah, let's actually do the show like this now. So, as you can see, Kenny Omega's Chris Jericho is doing his signature crotch smash, and Kenny Omega's head is...
He looks like Michael Myers.
It's oh man, it is ugly.
And let me preface this, right. They mentioned
now, I don't know if this is like...
They mentioned in the teaser that it was an early development. This game is nowhere near done. nowhere near done. But they showed us those two guys. I mean, and they also gave us a little glimpse before, Nick, I get you 2 cents on this, because we really haven't talked about this AEW games thing. For those who are wrestling fans, the video games back in the day had horrific female models, like for the video game models. Horrific. They were awful to look at. But they showed us Hikaru Shida, the current AEW Women's Champion, and she looks great. That's a great model of a character. I mean, at least I think so. So, and they showed us intergender wrestling. She was wrestling Kenny Omega. She gave him the deal. She gave him the deal, did the deal on him, brother. And then she hit the ropes as if it was her actually hitting the ropes. Like the physics and the actual movement of Hikaru Shida was matching like what we see on Dynamite every Wednesday. So I am stoked. Yes. Granted, our boy Chris Jericho looks a little doughy, but I love how this looks. On paper, this sounds great. I'm super excited for this. Nick, you on the other hand, aren't the biggest fan of this news.
Okay, so like, I would like to point out that I don't know what this game is actually going to look like in the end. Because you have this photo right here, and then you have this photo right here. You have this photo right here, and then you have this photo right here. The faces match pretty similarly, right? Yeah. The faces look okay. They look okay. They look like they're in early development. But Jericho's body looks like it's out of WWE All-Stars. And so does Omega. Veiny Omega. You know, my favorite wrestler, Veiny Omega. And then Ishida looks great.
Dude, Hikaru Shida.
Now, when Ishida was staying, well, when she was fighting Kenny Omega, was it Veiny Omega or was it regular?
I mean, it probably was still Veiny Omega. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't love it so far. Now, to your point from earlier, when I read AEW games, you know what I was thinking? They're probably letting their superstars go on Twitch. But it ends up that is not what it is. It ends up that it's now they say that they have about 4 games in development. Here's what I'll tell you. Now we have proof of this game existing, but do you think that they are power ranging this a little bit where they're like, hey, we have 8 movies planned and then we get 1? I don't know. I don't like this whole setting yourself up for failure type thing. Give us 1 game and then let's see where we could go from there.
And they showed us a couple other things as well. They gave us this GM mode style game for mobile, as well as casino type game. I believe we don't have too many details on that. And so I think when they say multiple games, they're definitely expanding to different platforms. So it may not be this may be like AEW Wrestling 2021. So do we know exactly when this game's coming out? Hell no. This game might be delayed till 2022. Who the hell knows? But as far as I'm concerned, they're announcing multiple different things on multiple different platforms, including the GM mobile game, the casino mobile game, and then on top of this. But, I mean, the biggest news of this whole press conference to me was the logo and the T-shirt that they announced as well. Because they damn near gave us a Pornhub-style T-shirt. Look at the damn shirt. This is real. This is a real shirt that they showed us at the damn press conference. It's a damn Pornhub shirt. God.
That ain't it. I don't like the games they didn't do a very good job of with the text. Like it just I would have honestly rather we got like a shirt that looks like that with that type of a logo on it as opposed to Pornhub games. But listen. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that it'll be fine, and I'm sure that I will potentially get it if I can. Mm-hmm. Like, even the older WWE 2K games, I pull them out, I play them, love me some, like, GM mode where I could just plan the shows and everything. and just simulate it and kind of see how I did and who's my champion. I made Justin Gabriel become the world heavyweight champion in a fatal 4-way once. It was
Damn right.
PJ Black deserves better. But I don't know. I need to familiarize myself way more with this roster because I do want to play games like this. And what's going to be interesting for me, where I think that they can pull a lot of money in, is they sign new people all the damn time. I think that if they do like an annual, or if they don't make their DLC like the WWE does with their games, where it's like you have like the first month, there's like 4 downloadable wrestlers and stuff like that. They need to do like I think that they have the potential to be able to do something really interesting because, like I said, there's a new wrestler appearing on AEW Dark every single week, it feels like. A bunch of people that the WWE could have signed but didn't, all that. So, like Eddie Kingston, I hope makes the cut for this type of a game. Miro, make Rusev the WWE champion or the AEW champion.
The best man.
The best man. The best boy there is. But I just, there's a lot that can happen with this game, especially with Yuke's back for it. Because it's not like this is going to be like a SmackDown versus Raw where they have another brand to play with and stuff like that. I know that they've been doing things for a calendar year, obviously, and that's great. But I don't know. You didn't get a WWE video game until there was a lot more pay-per-views and stuff like that. I feel like how many all-outs have they had? Like 3 or they've had 3, and then like they've done. It's like how many pay-per-views have they had that they could have all these different sets and stuff like that. I don't want a game like this to be stale when it comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I feel like I'm already missing out on so many different opportunities with it and such. Like one of the most fun things about those WWE games is you have 12 different stages unlocked to play at, other than the 2 main shows and ECW if you're playing one of those games, because you have your annual pay-per-views. So to me, they're obviously trying to catch up with WWE.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that this isn't too early for them to be doing this. That's all. That's my big gripe.
I mean, and maybe it's just me being optimistic and wishful thinking and just being wishful thinking. Is that even a word? Like, well, is that even a phrase? I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that they definitely have the roster for it. I'm not worried about the roster.
No.
Like you said, they sign people every other week. Okay, great. So by the time this game comes out, I think the roster's going to be stacked. It's going to be crazy. And Jericho's on your cover. Bang. There you go. That's how you do it. Or Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. But in regards to your point about like new characters or new wrestlers because they add people on the roster or new stages, that's where they can up WWE.
Right.
WWE does not add shit after launch. They don't add shit. You might get a DLC, but what AEW can do, release a game, say January of 2022. Let's say that hypothetically. Throughout the year, fucking update the game. Don't just like forget about it like WWE does with the 2K stuff. They just forget the game exists. They let the online engines go, and then it's it. Bang. All right, cool. No, AEW can do something different, and they could actually update their games as they go. Say they do another Bash at the Beach, right? Say they do AEW, but they make it a pay-per-view, like Bash at the Beach, and it's outside. Hopefully, one day we can get that arena or get that stage set up somewhere or later in the year. I don't know. I don't develop video games. I don't know how long that could possibly take to develop a whole different stage. But hypothetically, in my perfect world, that's how it's happening. But with right now how it's panned out, you have your Dynamite stage, you have your All Out, your Full Gear, if it's even different, your damn Fighter Fest, you can do the damn, you can just do it, you can make up your own shit.
Casino. Yeah, I mean, you have the opportunity. And like, here's I will already give AEW credit if they don't have a very important wrestler be a at launch title or a character. Oh my Lord. Now I understand that like Sting came out in the games prior or after that, but oh my God. Like, I understand that they're doing it so people will buy the game at launch, but like, maybe I want to play as Goldberg when I get the game 3 months later because I can't afford it or something like that. Now, I haven't been jaded by that. It's not me being like, oh, I can't do it. Because, like, I played SmackDown versus Raw games literally up until my brother a month or two ago got an Xbox 360 and had a bunch of 2K games with it. Like, I'm not one to go out and get the new video game. It's just not me. I'll watch people play it and, you know, I'll enjoy what I can. But it's just like, you know, I think it's silly that like and play into the Super Smash Brothers realm of things where they do fighter passes and they do stages that come along with the fighters and stuff like that. There's so much you could do. So just
1,000.
do something different. Do something different.
And I think they will be different. Ultimately, at least at the end of the day, we can compare them to WWE all we want because that's the natural comparison. Of course, we're going to compare the second largest wrestling promotion in America to the largest wrestling promotion in America. So it's gonna be something to see as it progresses, as it develops. But in a year or half a year, when they give us a proper trailer, then hell yeah, brother, give me all that jazz. But whenever they do that thing, we'll see. But let's move on to our second count because there are some things that, at least in the WWE side of things, didn't happen for certain people, and they were kind of shitty. The Bella Twins wanted tag belts for years, and the Bella Twins were a huge part of WWE's Divas division, soon to be women's division, for the better part of a decade plus. And Nikki and Brie are obviously huge, and they're pillars of WWE's women's division, at least in the 2000s and 2010s. And if you can agree with that, and you're so close-minded as a wrestling fan, without them, a lot of these people don't really get to, you know, have this opportunity. Like, obviously, the Bellas are put on the pedestal. The Bellas are treated differently. I don't care what you have to say about Nikki Bella's push because she was dating John Cena. Who cares? Who cares? Nikki carried the women's division, the Divas division, for a long time. Yeah, Natalia's the better wrestler, but Nikki's the better personality. Nikki's the better character. Sorry if I'm bursting your bubble, but the Bella Twins are awfully important, and they were a team for years, obviously, because they're sisters. And recently, they did an interview because they're promoting the newest season of Total Bellas, and Mario Lopez, I believe, he was doing the interview. He asked them like, "Hey, there are tag belts," or no, he didn't say that. He said, "Hey, you guys gonna go back to the ring?" Because that's the common question. Any former wrestler, they're gonna be asked the question, "Are you gonna go back?" And I think it was Brie that said it first. She's like, "Well, they have women's tag belts now, and we were asking for those for years. So maybe we got one more run in us." And then I thought to myself, "Holy shit! They keep retiring, unretiring, retiring, unretiring. This is some real shit. They're like the Ric Flair of retirements for women." But Nick, I'm curious on your 2 cents. Do you think the Bella Twins are going to come back?
Maybe. I don't know. If there's a time to. Oh my God. Sorry, I was like, oh, if there's a time to do it. Hold on. Like, if there's a time to do it, it's when you got a tag team titles. If there's a time to do it.
You went without the impressions like nothing, bro. You had Obama to start. Jesus.
Sorry. If there's a time to do it, it's if there's a time to do it, it's right now when you have a tag team division that sucks a whole lot of donkey do. It's just like these belts don't mean anything at all. So here's what I'm going to say. there's such thing as you know what, they need one thing, and that is to put Lana through a table. Now, here's what I'll say. If you're gonna have them return, if you're gonna have them return, I don't know why I'm trying to sound like about there. If you're gonna have them return at NXT. And bring the tag team titles to NXT where they belong, because they do not belong on the main roster, because nobody gives a damn about them. NXT, they will give a damn about them. The hardcore fans will be excited to see the Bellas back, because you want to know why they're going to... Nobody... If they came back and then they were like... Brie mode, and she wins the damn women's title against Asuka. Yeah, that's an issue. That's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
Because there are better wrestlers that deserve it. Give Bayley all the belts. That said, because eventually Charlotte and Ronda, and they're going to come back, and that division's already going to be crowded enough. Guess what? Nobody wants to see Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella. Nobody wants to see that. Because guess what? Here's the thing. That the Bellas are incredibly important for their time. And they're incredibly, and their talents. The Bellas got better throughout time. They went from being, this incredibly intriguing tag team thing that they were doing.
The Twin Magic, man. Twin Magic.
Yeah. To going and branching out, Nikki had the career that she had, and Brie had the career that she had. Nobody's going to complain if they go after these tag team belts at all, because the tag team division needs something. Like what the hell are you doing not putting it on Beth Phoenix and Natalya? Honestly. And you know what? I'm going to pitch it right now. If you're going to bring the Bellas back, that's your match. Natalya and Beth, bring it back to the basics, the original debut of the Bella Twins. Have one last match. Tag team belts on the line. Natalya and Beth Phoenix are the champions. Have the Bella Twins have one final send-off with tag team belts to bring them back to prominence. And you could have them leave again right after the match. You could be like, we're retiring. I don't care. They care, obviously. That's not what I meant. But they give them one more match for these belts. Make the women's tag team belts feel important. That is because they don't. They felt important when Bayley and Sasha held them 100 million times. If you're going to destroy the Iconics, if you're going to, if you're going to not put the belts on teams, if you're not going to give Riot Squad the championships, if you're not going to give Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, a team that you're building up right now, the championships, give it to a team that matters. That's all I say.
Nick, I want to go back to something you said not too long ago about the Bellas going to NXT. Now, before everyone loses their damn mind at that sentence, listen. The Bellas, if they come back, their sole purpose in their run is to make people look good and put people over. That is the role of a WWE legend at this point. If you come back, you're putting somebody over. How you get there is questionable. If you're like Cena comes back, yeah, he'll win a couple matches, but he'll put somebody over in the end. And he'll make them look good in the process. Or if you're like Goldberg, you come back, Goldberg, headbutts the door, concussed, beats the Fiend in Saudi Arabia, and we never talk about it ever again. So if there's two ways to go about this. And with Nikki and Brie, what you do, because right now, Shayna and Nia Jax, if you were to have this match, Shayna and Nia against Nikki and Brie, whenever Nikki and Brie are physically in shape and to come back into a wrestling ring. That's a squash. That match is a squash because that's how you book Shayna and Nia, right? So you got to have them drop the belt in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, if Beth Phoenix and Natalya are the move, great. But the perk of, at least the supposed perk of the women's tag belts is that they hop show to show. They go all the time. Or at least they're supposed to, but pre-draft. But now you've seen Shayna and Nia exclusively on Raw. If you were to give the belts to another team, it doesn't even have to be them. It could be the damn Riot Squad. Right? Oh, what's their team name now? It's
They have another one? I thought it was Riot Squad.
Was it Riot Squad? Is it still Riot Squad? Okay.
Riot 2? I don't know.
Yeah, like Live to Riot, Riot to Live.
But maybe it is. That sounds right.
Either way, you have them drop the belts to them, have them hold it for a little bit, because let's be real, Nikki and Brie won't come back excuse me, until late next year at the earliest. The earliest. Have them hold the belts for a while. Have them face off against Nikki and Brie. Lose to Nikki and Brie. But take the belts to NXT. Granted, how long can we wait for something like this? That's the real question. I would love to see Nikki and Brie back in some way, shape, or form. Nikki just had a baby. Brie just had a baby. Like, legitimately a day apart or 2 days apart. So we need to cool it on the return rumors. And if they are going to come back, it's going to be way later. But hypothetically, if this does happen, I would personally love to see it. One last run. And when I say one last, I mean it. One last time, you do the damn tag thing. Because let's be real. If there were there should have been Nikki and Brie's names on the tag belts. Just sounds right.
Right.
Especially after their tenure in WWE. So, it doesn't matter what you think of the Bellas. Doesn't matter how you feel personally about Nikki or Brie. If and when they come back, they should get a run with the tag belts. It just feels right. And now, or in the near future, it's a perfect time to do it. One last time. Have them put over somebody like clockwork. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything too crazy. Have them lose to Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae if they're still in NXT at that point. You know what I mean? Like, just something easy, something fun. Doesn't have to be too crazy. Smarks, hold your horses, calm down. It's not that serious. But hey, we could be talking out of our ass. The Beltons may never come back. They may never, ever come back. But it's fun to play the hypothetical game. I would love to see them come back.
Yeah. Why not? Give meaning to this tag team, because it's like the Kabuki Warriors were the longest reigning women's tag team champions. And I don't remember a single thing about their run, and it should have been meaningful because they are both incredible.
I miss Kairi Sane so much on WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damn, that just broke my heart. But yeah, the women's tag belts, they introduced them, they gave them to the Iconics. Great! And no one's cared since. So
they gave them to the Boston Hug Connection first.
Oh, I thought it was the Iconics.
The WrestleMania match.
No, you're right.
And I'll be honest, Bayley and Sasha have been the best tag team champions of the group so far. The Iconics sucked. They didn't do anything with them. Again, I agree. Because that division is built for them. Like, that division's built for them. And even like Peyton Royce has gone out and said, do not call me and Lacey Evans a tag team. There's only one person that I tag with, and her name is Billie Kay. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
Like, what the hell are they doing? Why break up a tag team just to stick Peyton Royce in another tag team? It's not like it wasn't working. And they are great together. They're freaking iconic together. Just give them their shot. That's my tangent.
No, you're fine. I mean, the Iconics, and when Billy got drafted to SmackDown, I'm like, damn. Like it's gonna be a hot second before we see the Iconics back together. It's inevitable when they get back together,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like yay. But until then, WWE Women's Tag Division, underwhelming, disappointing, I should say, and not good.
No,
But
not at all.
But those three things we cannot say about a man who apparently is coming back for his final farewell, and that man at Survivor Series will be the Undertaker.
You will go one-on-one with the Undertaker. Oh, sorry, Ray. I have to. This isn't even an editing break. You're just seeing me become Teddy Long.
The Undertaker is saying goodbye at Survivor Series. At least what it's sounding like. His final farewell, that could be freaking anything. But Survivor Series, it's gonna be a big show. It's gonna be a big deal with the Undertaker saying his final farewell. And apparently he's gonna be there at the Thunderdome, brother. So we're gonna see how that pans out. But WWE did this really cool thing. And they did a bracket of, I believe it's the Undertaker's greatest. That's how they worded it. The greatest matches that he's ever had, not his best, not his most iconic, the greatest. And it's actually a pretty decent bracket. So Nick and I, we're gonna go ahead and break this down match by match, and we're just gonna talk about it briefly. There's nothing too crazy in regards to the bracket. It's Undertaker matches. It's what you expect, and maybe just maybe we can do the first round. Maybe just maybe.
I think we should.
We can do the first round. So with that being said, let's show everybody the damn bracket, because this is like I mentioned, this is a pretty decent bracket. I personally rock with it. So you see on the screen right in front of you the 30 Days of the Dead Man. It's his greatest match tournament. They break it down in a decade, so 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and the wild card, which is legitimately anything. And if WWE has proven to me in any situation, wild card coming from WWE's mouth is not getting me excited in the slightest. But this part of the bracket gets me hot, bro. This is pretty hot. So let's just do the damn bracket. We're gonna start with the 90s. Top left corner of the damn bracket. You got your number one seed in that quadrant. Undertaker Mankind King of the Ring 1998. Holy shit.
Iconic. Yeah, like how could anything in the first round? Hold on, I want to hit you with another impression here for 1 second. Oh yes. But how could they even put like any? That should be like a first round bye. That match is insane. I thought Mick Foley was gonna die. Like
one might say part of him did die that day, but they put it up against Hulk Hogan and Undertaker Survivor Series 91. So squash. Easy squash. I mean, I'm sorry, Terry, but Taker Mankind. That's no, we're not. But that match just freaking rules, dude. But I mean that Taker Hogan match is fine.
Yeah,
Hogan's not the best worker, bro. He's not a great worker. I can't rock with him.
He can be. Yeah, I don't think any of us really can rock with good old fashioned Terry B. But there's something to that Mankind Undertaker match. Terry Funk gets involved to carry his man out of the friggin' ring. It's just the thumbtacks. My God, it's so hard to watch, but damn, is it iconic.
Bump in WWF WWE history.
Yep,
a man can yeet right on the top of the cell, and I always forget that was at King of the Ring. It wasn't at like Armageddon or
Hell in a Cell. Wait, that's ours, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's our generation.
But the match rules. Easy clap. Mankind take 98. One of the most iconic matches of wrestling history. But speaking of Mankind take, they're actually in the second part of this. Mankind Taker in your house, buried alive, against Taker and Bret Hart from SummerSlam 1997. That match rules too. Holy God, I love Undertaker matches. I always forget how many I've seen.
Oh yeah.
So when we first were going through this before the show started, we were just like, oh, like that match rules, that match cool, that match is cool. When I saw Taker Brett, I'm like, yo, I like that match a lot. Like those Bret Hart matches in the late '90s before he jumped to WCW, like and like before the screw job, like he was doing some great shit. He was doing some really good shit. Really good shit. It's good shit.
It's great shit.
But him and Taker, that Mankind. I don't want to, and part of me just doesn't want to do Mankind be Mankind, but I'm gonna choose Taker Hart advancing on Mankind and Taker.
I agree with you, brother. You can pretty much give me anything with Bret Hart in the 90s and I will go, yeah, I get it. But I will say if we do the second round next week, it's going to be really hard for me to choose against Mankind versus Undertaker. I might have to watch both of those matches in order to really give myself a good decision there.
On my flights back over the next couple days, over the weekend, I'm definitely going to be watching some wrestling. I'm going to be reading some books like this because your boy needs to read sometimes. But I think I'm going to watch some wrestling, and a lot of these are going to be Taker matches. But just to move on to the next matchup in this, we got 2 Kane matches. Undertaker Kane from WrestleMania 14 and Undertaker Kane from Unforgiven 1998. So, this one's it's the WrestleMania match, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I need to be forgiven here because I have not seen that Unforgiven match.
Okay.
But I mean, it's your first encounter of Kane versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. The first person to face against him twice was Kane. And then Triple H was like, I'm going to do it 3 times. Or sorry, well, I'm going to face against him 3 times.
He saw Shawn do it twice. He's like, no, I got to top it.
Yeah. And top it, he did not. But that said,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
But Kane Undertaker at WrestleMania, man. First time he did it, loved it. Mask Kane, man. Gotta love Mask Kane.
We love Kane with the mask. Why'd you take the goddamn mask off of him? But no, Taker, Kane from WrestleMania 14, that's a move. But moving on to the next one, this is where we start getting fun. Undertaker Yokozuna, Survivor Series 1994 versus the winner, Undertaker Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood 1997.
Are you sure you don't want Yokozuna?
Hell no! Are you kidding me? It's Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker. That Bad Blood match rules. Like, okay, Taker and Michaels, although Michaels might have been a piece of garbage at the time, like politically in wrestling locker rooms. He loved Jesus, but didn't love him that much yet. But oh my God, Shawn Michaels was one stud. He was killing it every single time. And before he went away to go find Jesus, he wrestled the Undertaker at Bad Blood 97, and that match is awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the white tights with the red hearts on it. If I'm not mistaken, unless it's the inverse. Either way, Michaels Taker stomp.
Let's see. I want to see myself. Oh no, this was Oh wait, you want to know why that match is so iconic? Isn't that Kane's debut?
Yeah.
So you got to give it that. Yeah.
In the cell, brother. You damn right. Yeah,
that's a clean sweep right there. Like that is. We had no outliers this one at all. I'm waiting for that wild card round to probably do that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Damn, how did I forget it was that? I'm probably thinking of another match then. But either way, that match down.
It slaps.
Next,
it slaps.
Let's jump over to 2000s just to keep it chronological. Starting off with the 1 seed. Holy God. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 2025, against Undertaker Brock Lesnar, No Mercy, 2002. Before we talk about the winner of this one, No Mercy 2002.
Undertaker versus Shawn. No, I'm just kidding.
Taker, Lesnar, they used to put on some killers. in the early 2000s, they put on some clinics. Like I think people will remember their matches more recently, post streak. But the early 2000s, the bangers they put on, Taker was just trusting the new guy because Lesnar. I believe that was Lesnar's rookie year, 2002. Yeah. So they put on some gems, and that No Mercy match is it's pretty solid. I really dig it. But it's going up literally against my favorite match of all time. So I'm biased.
Like, how could you vote against Shawn Michaels Undertaker 1? Oh my goodness. The only way that I might do it is Shawn Michaels Undertaker 2. So like it's so damn good. It was the honest to God only time that I thought the streak was going to end before it did.
Yeah. That, oh God. And I mean, I could talk about this match all day, and maybe one day we can watch WrestleMania 25 and really talk about it. But this was the WrestleMania that got me into professional wrestling. Like, it's the first WrestleMania I watched, and that was the first match that caught my eye. And it wasn't even the damn main event. It wasn't even the last match because Triple H had to go ahead and put his grubby little hands on Randy Orton for the main event.
Well, can't have WCW outshine me. Can't have Undertaker outshine me. No.
It was in the middle of the damn show, if I'm not mistaken. And that match ruled. The only bad part is the camera guy not catching the Undertaker and almost ending his career then. That's the only bad part. But the Undertaker was fine. He got up, finished the match, and the match ruled. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, that's WrestleMania 25. To me, it's a stomp because it's my favorite, and I'm biased. But Too bad, we're doing the bracket, so that's how we're going to ride. The next one is another WrestleMania match. WrestleMania looks to be 21. Randy Orton and The Undertaker against Kurt Angle, Undertaker, No Way Out, 2006.
Now, oh boy, this is going to be where it gets tough.
I
will give it to Randy Orton and Undertaker.
Oh,
because of how iconic that Legend Killer. That was the start of the Legend Killer.
The Taker stuff was like during Randy Orton's run as the Legend Killer, the OG run of the Legend Killer. This Taker match was the one that sticks out. Like, it's the one that is the outlier, and that's where Cowboy Bob was getting involved. And I watched the WWE, I forget what it's called. Their series of breaking down storylines and stuff. Taker and Randy Orton was one, because this was the beginning of a whole year-long ass thing that they did. And what Taker was doing at the time, it was the Undertaker. What the fuck did he have to prove? He took this fucking kid, excuse me, pardon my French, that's my one. He took this kid.
I realized something, but I will wait until you're done. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. This match, I think it might have been the end. It might have been the culmination of the feud or the beginning. Either way, I love that Orton match with the Undertaker. And if I was watching at the time, I would have thought, oh my God, Randy Orton's going to beat the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Because that RKO reversal or the choke slam or the choke slam to the RKO gimmick, that was really cool. It was some cool shit, but I think I have to choose Kurt Angle and the Undertaker. I know this says greatest. And greatest can be interpreted in multiple different ways. I'm looking at this from a technical standpoint. This is peak Kurt Angle. This is my man was on crack. This is like wrestling genius Kurt Angle, and him going up against the Undertaker, bro. And Taker said on multiple occasions he liked working with smaller guys, and Kurt Angle had been a stud up to he had been on crack. Actually, I gotta stop saying that. He's been on fire since he joined the WWF. And that match against the Undertaker just sticks out in my opinion, more so than the Randy Orton match. Yeah, it was the Legend Killer Randy Orton. It was at WrestleMania. Cowboy Bob got involved, but the only thing that sticks out to me in that match is the RKO. But Taker kicked out, and he ain't made the move look good, but he kicked out. And Kurt Angle Taker put on a wrestling clinic. I'm choosing Angle and Angle and Taker to lose to Michaels and Taker in the next round.
Okay. Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
But what was the thing you realized?
Something that I was laughing about, because you had mentioned the cameraman spot. And I would just like to acknowledge that I've mentioned this man on the show before. But the man who failed to catch the Undertaker was none other than Sim Snuka.
Have you mentioned him before?
Sim Snuka as like the greatest wrestler of all time? Just kidding.
Who is this man?
It's Deuce from Deuce and Domino. It's Sim Snuka.
It's Deuce.
Legacy's own Sim Snuka. He's the one who failed to catch the Undertaker.
We had one job.
He was a stunt granny in that match.
She was a stunt granny.
A stunt cameraman. And friggin' and this guy failed to. This guy almost killed the Undertaker, man.
That man almost killed the Undertaker. Almost retired the Undertaker.
Gosh.
Like
friggin' Sim Snuka almost ended the streak.
Drinking game for those at home. Drink every time Nick says Sim Snuka.
That's his name, man. And then eventually, if he lasted in the WWE, he would have just been going by Sim.
Just Sim or just Snuka. Either way.
Well, no, because
first name.
Tamina. Anyways, so
moving on to another matchup. Edge and the Undertaker, WrestleMania 24 against Undertaker and Edge, SummerSlam 2008. Woo-wee! Another matchup of the same man. Edge being
sorry, I was just laughing.
Edge being featured twice, SummerSlam 2008 and WrestleMania 24. To me, this one's pretty. It's pretty obvious in my opinion. SummerSlam 2008. The SummerSlam matches or SummerSlam cards in the late 2000s, to me I thought they were they had some great matches. But at the same time, that was where I began to watch wrestling. So I am biased to those SummerSlams. But Taker and Edge, they always put on great matches, and that SummerSlam 2008 one is not as good as the WrestleMania 24 match.
Oh, that is one of my see, that's where my bias comes in with the Shawn Michaels stuff. Even though that is one of my favorite matches of all time, Edge Undertaker, looking back on it now, not respecting Edge as much as I do now, being that I freaking hated Edge so much. I will always remember the iconic image of Edge standing over the Undertaker and the Undertaker grabbing him by the neck, and you could just see Edge's hair flying everywhere. It is amazing. They did like a comic book version of it for WWE Magazine once, and I went, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" That for me, but again, that was around the time that I started to watch wrestling myself as well. So like, for that to have been I remember being somewhere with my aunt and cousin, and we're gonna get into this match later, because I guess when I started to watch wrestling was WrestleMania 23, around that time. Because I remember being at an ice cream place with my aunt and cousin, and we were talking about Undertaker Batista. I'll get back to Undertaker Edge in a sec. And I went, well, I think Batista's going to win. And they're like, really? Why? I'm like, because he's Batista?
he's the animal.
I did not know about how important the streak was at the time. And it wasn't until I watched Edge Undertaker that I went, this is some real shit right here, man. This
And
is
they put the belt on it too. The belt was
as you have been saying this whole time, and I'm going to become Pee Wee Herman here for a second. This is crack. Like that match right there was the shit, and it made me realize how important the streak was, because at the time I was young, naive. My younger cousins going, you don't know about the streak, so I'm just going like, yeah, Batista, Undertaker, Edge. Yeah, I'll stop now. That match is poggers. It's amazing. I love it.
Taker's really putting on clinics at WrestleMania every single year, and that's what his career became. And I'm more than okay with that. But moving forward, we're actually going to wrap up with that match you just mentioned, WrestleMania 23, Taker and Batista against Taker and Triple H from WrestleMania X7, not 17, because we love X's. But who you got?
I'll give it to Undertaker Batista, because I do not care about that Triple H match quite yet. I will care about that Triple H match later on, but right now I don't care about that Triple H match. I care about Undertaker Batista, and it's more personal. Again, that was when I was starting to watch wrestling. It was two behemoths that I grew to love going forward. I remember in one of my art classes, I created a clay Batista head thing. And I don't know if I still have it or not. But like, I loved Batista, but there was no way, now that I think about it, that he was ever going to beat The Undertaker, because the streak meant so much. That wasn't a end the streak type match. You know what I mean? Like, that said, neither was that early Triple H match. Their fight forever, type match later on that we'll get to, I'm sure, obviously, in this.
Yeah.
That was the time that you could have possibly ended it. But like, Batista, Undertaker, for me, that was SmackDown back in the day. That was the World Heavyweight Championship picture minus Edge, So I will die on Batista Undertaker being an iconic match in my perspective of things.
No, and I'm going to agree with you. I'll keep my 2 cents short, because I know we're both going to be marking out over the next Triple H Undertaker entry. But it's the most forgettable of the three that Taker and Triple H have had. It was the first one. It's at X7. It got overshadowed by other matches that happened at X7 that did not involve The Undertaker or Triple H. Plus, I like the Batista match a lot. And in my opinion, it should have main evented WrestleMania 23. Michaels and Cena, big match. And they had a great story. But Batista and Taker should have main evented. So with that in mind,
I will say that was during a time where the Royal Rumble winner actually was the wait, didn't Shawn Michaels win that Royal Rumble?
You're talking,
or did Undertaker win that Royal Rumble?
2000. That's 2007, so it would have been The Undertaker.
WWE, don't call it the main event at WrestleMania if you're not going to main event your superstars. Ignore me. Oh my gosh.
And we'll get to the Rumble of 7 shortly. But that'll end the 2000s. We're actually going to jump over to the 2010s. Speak of the damn devil. Literally, it's Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 31 against WrestleMania 26. The rematch, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Nick, why is it Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker?
Sir? Why is it?
I'm joking.
Why is it not? Why is it not? Because it did not end the streak. If it ended the streak, I would, honest to God, give you a pass as to why you might even say that match was better than that, because it set up this spooky wrestler for the rest of his career. That said, I'm glad it didn't, because I freaking love the Fiend gimmick and the kids TV show gimmick more than I love the other Bray Wyatt. So I that Bray Wyatt was never scary to me. At least with the Fiend, I've thought of that movie idea where it's like some creepy TV show guy possessing kids or something like that, which isn't where that's going, but you know what I mean.
Season of the Witch, Halloween 3.
Yeah, So it's just like I don't know. I if they gave Bray Wyatt what he had deserved at that point, which was probably to become the next Undertaker type character, then I would even consider. But oh my gosh, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. Any Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker is at least making it through the first round.
Shawn Michaels. I've said it on the show before. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. My name currently on the screen for those who are audio listeners is the Heartbreak Young Adult Chris Anthony Lopez. Because there's only one Heartbreak Kid, and his name is Sean Higginbottom. But I think that Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, they put on one of the best matches ever with this WrestleMania 26 match to somehow rival their clinic at WrestleMania 25. Arguably better than their one at WrestleMania 25. Depends on who you ask. It really depends on who you ask. Right now, I'm going to say 26 is better than 25. I just prefer 25 because I have the sentimental budge is going to put it over the edge. But I think I can say in confidence that I like the sequel better. And for those who know me, that's my gimmick. I love sequels, especially if they're better than the originals. But then again, if you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably say 25. But as of right now, WrestleMania 26. Plus, this was Shawn Michaels' retirement match before Saudi Arabia. So let's keep that. That just knocks it up the edge higher. Another notch, bro. Whoa. I don't know. If you just said something, Nick, your Wi-Fi just made.
You lost me for a second, but I'm back.
Okay, cool.
I'm back. I'm here.
Word. WrestleMania 26. Shawn Michaels retirement match. The Undertaker's gonna put him out to the pasture. It was this whole thing. I loved these matches, bro. It was in Arizona, it was in Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. I remember watching this damn thing. It was so emotional. It was Shawn really leaving, him actually saying goodbye, and at least until Saudi Arabia happened. But money talks, baby. But it's crazy. Oh no, yuck! To me, it didn't happen. But as far as I'm concerned, this is Shawn Michaels' last match in WWE, and my God, is it so mother trucking good. Taker Michaels, WrestleMania 26, bar none, no competition. This match, raw, so good, brother, good shit. Moving on to the next one, good shit. This one's weird. Okay, before we continue, let me preface that the 2010s portion of this thing is damn weird. Because the 2010s with the Undertaker is weird as fuck. Damn it, that's my second one. It's so weird because Taker was obviously at the downturn of his career. He wasn't wrestling too often. He wasn't wrestling too much. Probably wrestling once or twice a year, maybe 3 times if we're lucky. And that's where this next matchup comes in because we're seeing Taker Lesnar from 2015 versus The Undertaker and Roman Reigns, the first tag match in this thing, and the only tag match in this thing. Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. Extreme Rules, 2019. Now, Nick, my thing with this is that this match, I don't remember it being that good. The tag match, I should say. The tag match. It's two part-timers on teams with stars of the company. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns being the two. And obviously they had a lot of love for Drew McIntyre. He was the champ at WrestleMania this year going into the fourth quarter of the year until Randy Orton beat him. So they had a lot of hope in Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns, obviously, is Roman Reigns.
Who?
The Undertaker team, that's our tribal chief, brother. How dare you disrespect him? But having Undertaker in a tag match, this was just to preserve the Undertaker. I don't remember this match being all that good.
I don't remember this match at all.
I remember the hype for this. I think I might have watched this live at the Extreme Rules last year. But it was fine. It's fine. It's cool seeing the Undertaker do his thing. But with that being said, the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar had one of the weirdest, strangest, and coolest rivalries of the 2010s. Like, I'm not even going to front, right? So after Lesnar beat him at WrestleMania, SummerSlam 2015, it gave us a pretty memorable screenshot of the Undertaker being like mocking Brock Lesnar, and apparently that was just like him winging it and shit. And it's they were fun. Those matches were fun. That Taker and Lesnar had at the back half of 2015. Their Hell in the Cell match to me, I don't know if it's on the wild card, if it's on the other part of the 2010s thing. I thought that match was better, but maybe the put him over the edge.
Oh, it did for me.
I'm gonna say Taker Lesnar, but not in confidence. It's gonna lose to Michaels Taker in the next round. Spoiler alert. At least in my opinion. But the fact that you don't even remember the tag match speaks volumes of that match. So moving on to the next match. Here we go. Another Triple H sighting. WrestleMania 28. Triple H and The Undertaker, the end of an era, against The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio from the Royal Rumble 2010.
Again, a match that I sort of forgot. But how could you vote? Obviously we were saying we were going to be referencing back to that Undertaker Triple H match.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I get it. It's Undertaker Rey Mysterio. It's another one that I would actually like to watch myself. I know that it led into what match at WrestleMania? It would be Undertaker Edge, right? No. That would be
excuse me. This led to Shawn costing Undertaker the belt at Elimination Chamber.
Okay, and then Chris Jericho won it, right? Okay, so
if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that.
That Royal Rumble was definitely overshadowed by Edge returning, so that's probably why I don't remember that match. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I've got to give it to Triple H and Undertaker. Another iconic match. Didn't think that the streak was going to end there, honestly. That's not one of those matches. It was one of those fight forever type matches, but I was not going, this is going to be where the streak ends. Because if the streak was going to end with one of the members of DX, it was going to be with Shawn Michaels in that second match. It should have been him. It should have been me. Should have been Dolph Ziggler. Son of a bitch. But yeah, so I got to give it to Triple H and Undertaker. How could you not?
Yeah, it's the end of an era. That Hell in the Cell match, Shawn Michaels was the guest referee. There were a couple great near falls, probably some of the best near falls that I've ever seen in my whole damn life.
Yeah.
That the super kick into the pedigree combo, you're like, that's it. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
And the Undertaker somehow kicked out. And I'm like, yo, this match rocks. Is it the best technical match ever? No, that's why they gave them a Hell in the Cell match.
Right.
Because they're going to hit each other with weapons, and we're all going to be like, yeah. Because who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that shit?
They're stripping old gents at that point. So
exactly. And Taker to Mysterio, match is good. The 2010 Rumble, I dig that Rumble a lot. I actually really like that match with Taker and Mysterio. But it's not as memorable to me as Triple H and The Undertaker from freaking WrestleMania 28. It's my third. 3 strikes him out. So I'm also going to pick Triple H and The Undertaker. End of an era. And
end of a freaking era.
It truly was the end of an era. But we're not done talking about Triple H yet because he's actually in this last one from the 2010s. Triple H and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 27 against The Undertaker and Shane McMahon from WrestleMania 32.
Oh boy. So this was the most mediocre, in my opinion, of the Triple H. Well, it was fine. I mean, this was the fine Triple H and Undertaker match. You have the great one, the bad, or the mediocre one, and then this one. You know what I mean? But Shane and Undertaker was a Hell in a Cell match.
Mm-hmm.
Shane took a dive, reminiscent of Undertaker and Mankind. Yeah. So I am going to give this to Shane and Undertaker.
Is that an upset? I gotta see the seed.
It is, but it's just because, like I said, this Triple H and Undertaker match wasn't as high on the list as others were. So I guess that is the second upset of this because you chose Kurt Angle and Undertaker over Randy Orton and Undertaker. But yeah, I don't know. These are both matches that I would easily. These are matches that make sense where they are at, because these are matches that are right in the middle that I would have lose to whatever follows. You know what I mean? And that's going to be the Triple H versus Undertaker end of an era match. And there's no way that I'm going to put Shane McMahon versus Undertaker over that match. You know what I mean? There's no way I would put the original Triple H versus Undertaker match over the end of an era match. So I'm going with Triple H Undertaker or Shane McMahon just because it was the more interesting match, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it wasn't good, but it wasn't great.
I don't remember the first Triple H Taker match because I think it immediately got outshined by the end of an era. It's not like the Michaels one, where both were gems, and people were going to be debating which one's better. And I'm baffled that the 27 one was ranked higher than the end of an era. I don't understand why, but I'm also going to pick McMahon and Undertaker.
Okay.
Maybe because it's recency bias, but I just had a lot of fun watching that match, bro. And again, you put them in a cell, you let the gimmick take its course over the match, and I rock with the damn gimmick, man. I'm all about the gimmick, and plus, I think I actually like the match. But moving on to the wild card side, last little quadrant we're going to tackle here on Wrestle Real. It's going to be the number 1 seed, Taker versus Jeff Hardy, Raw from July 1st, 2002, against The Undertaker versus The Undertaker at SummerSlam 94.
See, this is where they're pinning iconic matches against each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
So like bring that back up again. Bring that back up for me. I just want to look at this again. Because I was honestly just looking to see if anybody else. So I obviously did not watch this Undertaker Jeff Hardy match when I was younger because of the circumstances of when I fell into the WWE. Now, Undertaker is iconic. It's not Luke Gallows underneath the Undertaker paint like it was for Kane, so that already is giving it the lower ranking of me. I think it's a bit crazy to think that like Undertaker Jeff Hardy is the number 1 seed on this bracket side, but I will give it the edge there. Great match. Awesome match because it was for the title. Everybody's going, there's a chance, there's no way in hell that Jeff Hardy's even going to fare against Undertaker. And after the match, you have a moment of respect between the two, kind of reminiscent of the John Cena Kurt Angle, or when Undertaker shook John Cena's hand. It might last a lot longer in this thing than I think, honestly, which is maybe why it's the number 1 seed. That's a great match. That's like a top 10 Raw matches of all time type match, in my opinion.
Taker Hardy put Hardy on the map as a singles competitor. Because we knew him from the Hardy Boys, and the Hardy Boys did their thing as a team for years prior.
Yeah.
But this match put Hardy as a single star, put him over. Taker put him over in defeat. Like, Hardy lost the match, but he was still the thing that people were talking about the next day. Jeff Hardy's good as a singles competitor, and that's why I got to give it to Hardy and Taker. Yes, Taker. It's funny, it's fun in hindsight. But at the time, it's like holy shit. And maybe if I was watching SummerSlam 94 in 1994, I'd be saying things differently. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Taker Hardy. And like you said, it may go farther than I anticipate, but I must rewatch Taker Hardy before the next round. I have to do that. So moving on to the next one, bringing up Kurt Angle, my boy, one more time. Vengeance 2002. Kurt Angle and Undertaker versus Undertaker and Batista. Backlash 2007.
Boy. I'll let you go first with this one.
Okay. If I'm being real, I just love Taker and Angle together. If I were to watch one of these matches over again right now, I'm picking Angle Taker because I know it'll be a better match. Now, unless I'm totally missing something and spacing out on something from Batista Taker at Backlash, I'm gonna stick with Angle Taker because I know it's a better match. I know it's a better match.
Yeah. Boy. I remember this Taker Backlash match with Batista because again that was the following pay-per-view for they used to do Backlash right after WrestleMania, and
so this was the rematch.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it to the Angle match as well because it wasn't as good as the first one, but I do distinctively remember it, and again, maybe it's because again this was around that time that I was starting to watch it. This is Batista's rematch clause. It's if you're going to be doing a lengthy run with the Undertaker, he's not going to win, which made sense. Undertaker's carrying the company at that point, so I'll give it to the Angle match.
Kurt Angle, 2000s Kurt Angle's unbeatable, man. Like he was just a gem, an absolute gem. But moving on, the third seed, One Night Stand, 2008, The Undertaker versus Edge against the Armageddon 2000 six-pack Hell in a Cell match. Okay, I gotta run this match. Have you seen the six-pack?
I remember it a little bit. Please run it through me again, because I'm picking it. It's pretty evident that both of us are thinking that, right? Was One Night Stand Undertaker? Was that when he sent him to hell? That wasn't that match, was it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So like, this is just a random Edge Undertaker match. Let's go over this Hell in a Cell match real quick.
Okay. So it's Hell in a Cell match, right? Obviously six pack. For the WWF Championship, get this shit right. Taker, Rikishi, Triple H, Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Mother Truckin' Austin. And this is the infamous, or not, I shouldn't say infamous, the famous spot where I believe it was Taker that pushed Rikishi off the damn cell onto that truck van. This match rules. It rules. I go back every so often and I rewatch this match because it's a bunch of studs from 2000, and they're like if Rikishi is the weakest man in this match, it is what it is. Rikishi was hot at the time. It was 2000. Yeah. Rikishi was shit. So yeah, it's this one. Hell in a Cell six pack. This match rules.
Friggin' for sure. I agree.
I want to. Was it 2008? I gotta make sure that I'm thinking of the correct match with 2008's One Night Stand, because this okay. Taker, Undertaker Edge, vacant World Heavyweight Championship.
It was extreme.
If Taker lost the match, he had to leave WWE. That was the stipulation for the match.
Okay.
Well, that was the at least against the Undertaker. But with that being said, it's not changed my mind. I'm incredibly biased to this damn six pack Hell in a Cell match. It rules. It's just dumb fun wrestling. I love it.
And that was before the WrestleMania match, I believe, because the Singapore Cane match, the 5-person Singapore Cane match for the winner faces ECW champion, Night of Champions. Never mind, ignore me. It was afterwards.
June 2008, per Wikipedia. I'm never wrong, right? So moving on.
Let me go change it to 2012, as you're saying.
Last one. The last matchup in this thing, it's The Undertaker and AJ Styles from WrestleMania 36 against the Royal Rumble match from 2007.
This is a tough one for me. Because Undertaker AJ Styles was awesome. It was one of the standout matches in what was a very weird WrestleMania.
Mhm.
That said, the boy's got the longest streak in WWE history. He has such a seasoned career. It took him until then to win the Royal Rumble, right? The match that sets up your fate for a WrestleMania match. And you don't even main event. But that's I will give the Royal Rumble match the edge in this one simply because it's the Royal Rumble match. And Undertaker is such an iconic wrestler. He probably holds some stupid record that shouldn't exist in it. Like fastest elimination of Mark Henry in the 2008 Royal Rumble. I don't know. Whatever. I will give this to the Royal Rumble match because it's a match that I won't even go with a recency bias on it. I do think that AJ Styles Undertaker match is awesome. Had Imposter Kane in it because Luke Gallows was there. I just keep thinking about that Royal Rumble win and how important it felt for me, at least, that he won it.
Okay. This is so hard. Just a couple things. I was looking at the Rumble 07 statistics, and I have a couple facts for you, Nick, about the Rumble. First off, Kane made his 11th appearance, breaking the record for most Rumble appearances. It was the 9th consecutive appearance for Kane as well. The Rumble set a record for the most wrestlers involved in an elimination, a la what you said about Mark Henry. Took 8 men to eliminate Viscera in this Rumble. And
that's why it's iconic.
And the last one, what makes it stand out amongst the fact that Taker won, was that he won from number 30. He came out at 30 and won the damn. He was the first man to do it. First man to do that until the following year when John Cena did the same exact thing. But god damn, I love that Taker Styles match.
It's quite good. It's quite good.
Like I know the pre-tapes at WrestleMania weren't the best. People, they weren't received the best. God damn, this is probably recency bias. I'm picking Styles Taker.
Okay. Nothing wrong there.
I think it's the Undertaker's last appearance in a wrestling capacity, as far as we know. And I thought it was pretty damn fun, pretty damn good. Taker looked like he was he was physically in it. Styles made him look so goddamn good. Taker literally killed Gallows and Anderson and sent them to Impact. I had a ball watching this. As much as I wanted Styles to win, when Taker won and that last shot of him on his motorcycle and his logo popped up behind him, I'm like, this is hot. This is really hot. Like, this just feels right. I'm gonna pick Styles Taker. It's a hoot. It's a real hoot. And I've seen it a few times since, and I really like it. Plus, the only downside is that it made WWE want to do more of them after that. Those pre-tapes, no, let's stop. After WrestleMania, we should have stopped. Yeah. And that with Cena, Wyatt, and Taker Styles, it's cool. It's cool just a little bit. But with that being said, that's going to do it for the Taker bracket this week. We'll return with our updated version for next week. Right. Nick and I only have 2 differences, I believe. So
2 differences.
So we will adjust accordingly going forward, even though I think the two differences may or may not even matter going into the following round. So
No
we'll
way.
talk about that. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But we have one last thing. We both have a high spot, so we're both again our soapbox right now. So let's go ahead and do that, brother. Nick Molbach, you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you were watching a certain pay-per-view, and you said you wanted to get a little more into it during your high spot. So by all means, brother, take the stage. This is your soapbox. Please go ahead, do it.
Fobama should have won the WWE Championship. Just kidding. R-Truth should have won the WWE Championship at Capital Punishment because his heel run was iconic. It was great. And the man deserved better than what he has been given. They turned it into a comedy gimmick. I love when R-Truth is just walking around the arena. Now, though I miss R-Truth walking through the audience singing "What's Up." I watched that recently too. But, you know, it would have been so interesting to have seen R-Truth actually pull the big one off.
Wow. Wow. For just so we can be a little transparent, you did tell me before we started recording, Nick, this would be your high spot. So I've been bracing for Impact for the end of the show. He faced Cena at Capital Punishment. That was the main event. No.
I know.
In hindsight, R-Truth was really doing something. Like he was being a heel for the first time since what, Impact or his NWA days.
Yeah.
So I remember that R-Truth run vividly. I remember watching Capital Punishment and Cena going over, especially at the time he was Super Cena, bro.
It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen.
They didn't think about giving him that belt. But on the hypothetical, it would have been interesting to see how the rest of that year would have panned out. He probably would have dropped the belt almost immediately back to Cena. So Cena would have been a 17-time champion by now. But that would have been pretty freaking interesting. It would have been crazy to watch. DC would have lost their damn mind if R-Truth pinned John Cena. They would have lost their shit.
Yeah.
It would have been crazy. Absolutely crazy. My God. Fobama. That's funny as hell. Nick actually sent me a picture of Fobama with no context. I'm like, what? Like, what is this? I forgot Fobama was at Capital Punishment. And before I go to my high spot, how much do you want to bet they reached out to Barack Obama to be at the show?
I don't know if that's something he would be allowed to do. So maybe they did, but he's on they did like a really cool political cartoon version of the
It was a caricature.
It was a caricature. It was John Cena, and of course, it was obviously your world heavyweight champion Randy Orton. No, it was Rey Mysterio, with Obama in the middle, because that's how much they cared about the world heavyweight championship at the time.
Ouchies.
Yeah, I'm currently on that match, and I'm pretty sure that obviously Orton wins against Christian.
Oh yeah.
I also watched the SmackDown when he won the title back because he kicked Randy Orton in the nuts. Or Randy Orton kicked him in the nuts or something. I don't remember what it was. He spit on him, hacked a loogie at him, whatever. That said, what a weird show. They never did again, thank God. Because, unfortunately, the WWE was in a situation where they were buddies with the guy who was president recently, so it could have happened. But that said, I will never understand why they went with this whole fake Obama thing. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Sorry. I will let everybody know the verdict on the rest of the show when we come back next week. But as of right now, they did a terrible Big Show versus Alberto Del Rio match where Mark Henry randomly attacked Big Show at the beginning, and Big Show just hobbled around crying in pain the entire time. # crying Big Show. And let's see here. Dolph Ziggler won the United States Championship in a really weird way. Big Zeke, wasted potential on that man, won his won the Intercontinental Championship versus Wade Barrett with the torture rack.
God. Oh, former core members.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio lost to CM Punk in a very clearly CM Punk is over type moment where I'm going, oh, that's weird. I wonder who's going to be challenging John Cena for the title soon after this. Oh, it's CM Punk. In one of the most iconic runs in WWE history, leading up to that match. But I also watched that match with Rey Mysterio and CM Punk and went, God, poor Rey Mysterio is about to beat the Miz for the WWE Championship soon, and then Cena's going to just be like, hey, remember me? Beat him within like 3 minutes and then friggin' act like he wasn't a huge dick for beating him so soon right after the match. That sucked. But then it led to CM Punk coming back, which was too soon in my head. But all right, go on. Sorry. Your high spot. I don't want to take up too much of our time here.
No, you're fine. So my high spot for this week's episode of Wrestle Real, I got some in my eye.
I've heard about this high spot, by the way, people. So this is about to be a genuine reaction.
So All Elite Wrestling is a show we rarely get to talk about on Wrestle Real, and we obviously started talking about the game for this show, but we didn't get to talk about Dynamite this past week on Wednesday. So one of the things that happened on Dynamite was Cody Rhodes. He was in the ring, cutting a little promo ski. And then this lady walked out. I'm blanking on her name. I gotta go find her name. Just so I can give her some respect. Because I thought she was killer on the mic. Absolutely killer. Her name is Jade Cargill. That's her name. She came out and she cut a promo on Cody, implying that his genitals were small. And that he's the worst, and like it was this whole thing, right? And she mentioned that she had a giant because Cody was like, "Oh, like I'm a giant killer or something," and she said, "Oh, I have a giant," and you guys, congratulations on your name! You got your name back, Cody Rhodes. Congratulations. Why I have a giant, and his name, he only needs one. It's Shaquille O'Neal. So, my high spot for this week is, what? Do you need Shaq? Okay, I get it. You're staying in house at TNT. Shaq's on, he covers basketball for TNT, and Cody obviously starred Dynamite every Wednesday on TNT. But this corporate synergy going on over there is not that serious. Shaquille O'Neal, I know for years with WWE, they were teasing a match between him and the Big Show, and it just never happened for whatever reason. But are you really about to give us Cody Rhodes versus Shaquille O'Neal in an AEW ring? What the hell? Why? Nothing's confirmed as of this recording, but why? If this is where you're going.
Yeah, no.
I don't like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Shaq. He's great. He's a great personality, great basketball player. One of the greatest big men, if not the greatest big man of all time. Cody Rhodes, one of the best wrestlers on the face of the planet right now. One of the best he's one of the best on the mic right now. He's killing it every single week on Dynamite. But I get it, right? You want, like, we're in the pandemic and you just want to do cool shit. On paper, this sounds cool as fuck. That's my fourth one. Sounds cool, right? Cody Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. I get it. I understand. But from a wrestling standpoint, why? Shaq doesn't know how to wrestle. He's going to work like a big man, and I understand that this is just for the name. You're just getting that, but this might not even be good. Granted, the last time a celebrity got into the ring and I was genuinely impressed It was also an AEW-esque show. I saw Stephen Amell wrestle Christopher Daniels, and it was incredible. But that's Stephen Amell.
It's Stephen Amell, man. It's not Shaq.
It's not Shaq Diesel. It's not the Shaq. It's not the Big Shamrock. It's not
Shaq Fu.
Yeah, it's not Shaq Fu, brother. Like, this is Shaquille O'Neal now. I don't know where this is going. My only
Hopefully
question,
away.
Yeah, I don't want this. My only question is why. But I reserve the right to change my mind as this progresses. But as of right now, I'm really sour. The only spotlight of this is Jade Cargill and her potential feud with Brandy Rhodes, because them two on the mic was spectacular.
Fantastic. But Shaq though, and my God,
why Shaq Diesel? Why gotta be Shaq? Leave Shaq alone. Leave him alone.
Keep him as far away from there. Pair him up with Eddie Kingston.
TNT belt was just taken off of Cody on Darby Allin. Thank you. As it should be, the face of Wednesday nights, Darby freaking Allin. But Cody Rhodes can be doing literally anything, and he's wrestling or potentially wrestling Shaquille O'Neal. That's AEW Dynamite, people, every Wednesday on TNT. But with that being said, oh my God, what the fuck is this? What is that? No! Get this off the damn screen! What is no? What the fuck, bro? No.
I love it personally. I think he looks cute.
You need to cool it. Oh my God.
Crap. No. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Oh gosh.
Not today. Not today.
Oh no.
No.
Crap.
No.
There we go. All right. Now we can end the show.
But with that being said, thank you so much for everyone that's watching or listening to Wrestle Real. I really appreciate it. Nick, per usual, this was a God. This was a hoot. Well, at least it was before this popped up. Go ahead and follow us on all the social media. Subscribe to the channel. Like it if you like Wrestle Real. Listen to our audio feed at Who Are They? Real Entertainment. So the name of the channel, look it up wherever you find your podcast. We're going to be there. Right. Check out those commentaries that we did. We talked about a random episode of Raw from 1993, I believe. And then we did one for Halloween Havoc 1995, and expect more coming soon, especially with Survivor Series coming in the coming weeks. But, I mean, Nick, is there anything that we missed on the show that you want to bring up before the show?
Nothing but this handsome sucker right here, Chris Jericho, with his sexy mirror selfie of thick Jericho.
And the hair tie on the sink. Don't think I didn't see that, Jericho. But for Nick Volbach, my name is Chris Anthony Lopez, and we'll see you guys next time on Wrestle Real.
Oh,
this damn picture, man. I hate this picture.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.